Recording in progress.
Good evening and welcome to the August 25th, 2025 Tualatin City Council meeting. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Our first item of business tonight is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll lead this tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That brings us to announcements, and our first announcement tonight is a proclamation declaring September 17th through 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week in the city of Tualatin. And we have representatives of Constitution Week. Come on up. I think Cameron, you're up. You bring up your sister? All right. Welcome. Welcome, Cameron.
Hello.
What's your sister's name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi.
Honorable Mayor and City Councilors.
Good evening. The celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1955. The DAR asked Congress to set aside September 17th through the 23rd every year to observe Constitution Week. The resolution was later approved by the U.S. Congress and signed into public law on August 2nd, 1956 by President Dwight Eisenhower.
Constitution Week is celebrated each year to observe its history, importance, and to bring attention to how important it still is today. The Constitution stands as a tribute to the determination of Americans throughout history to maintain their liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. Constitution Week is a great time to learn more about this important document and to celebrate the freedoms it has given us.
The Constitution was signed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on September 17, 1787. I am proud to say that we are distant cousins to three signers of the Constitution: George Washington, James Madison, and Benjamin Franklin. Thank you for approving this proclamation.
Councilor Reyes.
It's my honor to read the proclamation. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September 17th, 2025 marks 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it, and whereas Public Law 915 or 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Tualatin, Oregon, that Tualatin recognizes the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. We encourage community members to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitutions had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. Introduced and adopted this 25th date of August 2025.
So we have a signed version of proclamation. We can get you up here.
Oh.
Next up, our second announcement is a new employee introduction. Police K-9 Drea, come on up. Chief Pickering. Still high energy.
Well, you know how these introductions go. Yeah, we can probably just throw her up on the table to begin with. Yeah. Well, Mayor and Council, good evening. I'm Chief Pickering. I'm excited to introduce our newest K-9 officer, K-9 Drea. So K-9 Drea came to us from the Golden Gate Kennels in outside the San Francisco area. She turned 1 last week on August 20th. And what a better way to celebrate your first birthday than to find and seize 135 pounds of methamphetamine and about $60,000 in cash. So Drea came to us the week of July 14th. So Sam was able to work with the breeder to find the dog that was best, so that he brought up multiple dogs. And Drea, from about the first hour of being out of her kennel, we knew she'd found her new home in Tualatin. The nice thing is she came from the breeders fully imprinted on all 4 of the major narcotics. And on July 31st of this year, she was certified through the Oregon Police K-9 Officers Association. And so she holds her certifications already, and she's already been at work. So we're super excited to have her. As you can see, she never stops. She's pretty constant. And with the fact that she's pretty young, we're super excited to have her and to have her around for a long time. So we're excited to introduce her to you tonight.
All right, questions for the chief? Comments? Council Brooks?
When does her doll come out? And is there anything different that you do for the female? Is this our first female police dog?
Zoe was first.
Zoe was first.
Oh, Zoe, yeah,
Yep,
okay.
Zoe was the first one. So, no, nothing different. So she's right after it all the time. So she's ready to go.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
So is there going to be one of these?
we're working on it.
Okay.
Yep, we're working on
You gotta
it.
stop growing, you just gotta start
But
growing.
like
it.
by
Yeah.
Christmas, do you think?
The
The doll?
canine plushie is about the same size as her right now. So we want to make sure we don't, get confused who's who.
Other questions or comments?
No, I just had to say, girl power. And how is that gonna work with your little pumpkins?
Oh, they love her.
Are they just
Yeah.
in love with her?
Yeah, and Tony loves her too, so
Oh,
it works out.
well, that was never in doubt, probably. But I also wanted to say thank you already for having her at work. It breaks my heart and makes me sick to my stomach that many drugs are out there for our community members to access. And I just thank the council, all the people that have made it possible that we have detection officers like Drea out there serving our communities. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
All
coming
right.
tonight.
Thank you.
All right. All right, room clear a little bit. All right.
Leave the dog here. You all can leave.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to public comment. Public comment is an opportunity to anyone in Zoom or in the room here tonight to address the council regarding an item that is not on tonight's agenda. Please keep your comments to about 3 minutes. I'll first ask folks in the room if there's someone who would like to comment, and then go to Zoom. I don't see I have no signups. Anybody want to address the council tonight? No one in Zoom? All right, we'll move on then. That brings us to our consent agenda. The consent agenda are items considered routine and will be voted on in one motion unless the council would like an item removed and heard separately later tonight. Tonight's consent agenda consists of item number 1, consideration of approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of August 11th, 2025. Item 2, consideration of approval of a new liquor license application for RACS Rex. Item number 3, consideration of approval of a new liquor license application for Glow Gifts and Candle Studio. Item number 4, consideration of resolution number 5902-25, authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement, an IGA, with Clean Water Services for the design phase of the Martin Ozzie Sewer Trunk Upsizing Project. Item number 5, consideration of resolution number 5904-25, authorizing Amendment 1 to the contract with OTAC for design of the 65th/Borland/Saggart Improvements Project. Item number 6, consideration of resolution number 5905-25, awarding and authorizing a contract with McDonald and Weddle for construction of the Tualatin Police Department roof replacement. And item number 7 is consideration of resolution number 5906-25, authorizing staff to submit to the Oregon Department of Land Conservation Development an application for the 2025 Housing Planning Assistance Grant to provide the city with consultant assistance for the city's housing capacity analysis. In work session earlier, Councilor Hillier has asked for items numbers 2 and 3 to be removed and heard separately later tonight. Any other items council would like removed from consent? All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as amended. Any discussions on those motions? All those in favor say aye.
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 It's approved. All right. That brings us to, I think it's flip 2. Our special reports, Washington County Sheriff's Update. Sheriff Massey, weren't you just here?
I promise not to take as much of your time this time as I did
Unless we have a
last time.
gazillion questions again.
Interesting.
Welcome.
I can switch the thing if you want. All right. Thank you so much for having us again. Last time we were here, time before last that we were here doing our sheriff's office updates or state of the office, I promised that I would have last year's annual report to you sooner, so you should have in front of you a copy of the annual report, and then as we go through this, there will be an opportunity, if anyone here or online would like to scan the QR code and get your own copy, we'll make that available for you. We just wanted to provide a few updates that recenter us back to the idea of wherever you live, we serve you. And in large part, that service comes in partnership with your Tualatin Police Department and Chief Pickering, who has been an exceptional partner forever and ever. Amen. We do provide our countywide services to over 600,000 residents, and we are the primary first responders for your rural, urban, unincorporated residents and our municipal contract cities, which includes North Plains, Cornelius, Banks, and Gaston. My goal is for us to be the safest major urban county in the state of Oregon. For anyone who has interest in that annual report that the mayor and councilors have, you can scan that QR code or go to wcsoannualreport.com. I'd like to give you some updates on our county jail. This is an area that we always present on because we have the only county jail in Washington County. We have historically had 3 housing units closed since COVID because of short staffing. I am ecstatic to let you know that we are actually not just fully staffed, but are engaging in overhires that were approved by the county so that we can manage that organic transition as people retire and we get people online. That takes about 10 months to get someone working on their own. We do still have 3 housing units closed, but that is because we are undergoing critical infrastructure repair that includes a new roof, hot and cold water piping, fire suppression systems, HVAC systems. And so we are in the middle of that right now. There is equipment everywhere, and we are at about a 380 bed capacity. Normally, when we are fully functioning, we're at 572, which is the second smallest jail per capita in the state. And we, right now, we are sitting by far the smallest jail in the state. To accommodate some of that or to sort of manage some of those things, we do have a contract with Yamhill County to utilize 15 of their beds where we house sentenced adults in custody so that they don't have to go back and forth to court and consistent, visitation with their attorneys and things like that. So that has helped free up some bed space. And then last year, we did receive a $750,000 grant to expand our pretrial release program. What that will do, it will allow us to bring electronic monitoring in-house and have our deputies manage that program and the alerts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I believe that that will be a significant escalation of safety to our community, because over the last at least 15 years, the vendor that we have utilized, they do not monitor our adults in custody who are out on electronic monitoring 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They do not monitor overnight, and they do not monitor on the weekends. I'm sure it will surprise exactly no one here that many people contact their victims late at night and on the weekends. Inconsiderate. So we are going to go ahead and just pause that, bring everything in-house so that as our deputies are working in the jail 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they will be monitoring those for those alerts and then be able to get resources out if people are found to be in restricted zones. Last piece I'll touch on with the jail is our jail capacity study. We've just completed a contract with a vendor who did an assessment to gauge what they think our needs will be for our Washington County Jail through 2055. With a small amount of overage, it's going to be over 1,000 beds based off estimated population growth, and we will start the work coming soon to determine exactly what that looks like, how we might get funding, and I will be spending time in a lot of different counties across the country who are doing it better, who are doing it very well with cutting-edge technology and programming for behavioral health, substance use disorder, and transitional programming to make sure that the people that are being released from our custody are far better prepared to be successful once they're out in the community. And so I'm really looking forward to that. It's a passion of mine. Our jail actually broke records throughout the country and received awards way back in 2004 when we opened up our special needs pod, which was specifically designed to accommodate those adults in custody who had behavioral health needs back then, where they weren't able to be as successful in a general population housing unit. And along with that came some really specialized training for our staff to help support those folks more effectively. That issue has just expanded across our communities, and so I really look forward to being able to bring some best practices and some innovation to Washington County. Chief?
Good evening, City Council members. I'm Chief Deputy Errol McCray. I'm going to talk a little bit about our interagency teams. So no single agency can provide all the services alone to keep the community safe. So we have to do that in partnership. And by pooling our resources together, we can provide that consistent professional services everywhere in the county. Just as Sheriff Massey stated earlier, Chief Pickering and the Tualatin Police Department are excellent partners. Our interagency team strengthens the public safety across the county through cities, unincorporated areas as well. Our interagency teams are ready to respond to whatever complex situation that may come up within the county. This is another interagency team called Covert, a Community Violence Reduction Team. They were formed in October of 2024, and since that time, as you can see, these numbers have been updated. The search warrants are up to 68, arrests are up to 49, and firearms seized are up to 282.
Wow.
Just not quite under a year.
282 in not even a year. I didn't actually have that number, so thank you.
Wow. So through this partnership that we have, we were able to secure grant funding and install a NIBIN terminal. Our partnership with the DA's office, Hillsborough Police, and Beaverton Police right now. But this tool helps analyze shell casings. So when officers or deputies respond to scenes and there's evidence there for shell casings, they can submit those into evidence at the sheriff's office and run that analysis. That analysis will sometimes tie those casings to specific weapons, which could help in resolving cases a lot sooner. We have seen an increase in gun violence across Washington County, but with this, with Covert and the things they are doing right now, we see positive progress coming along. Their main focus is on prevention, intervention, and enforcement. Our search and rescue team, while this is not an interagency team, it is still consists of some highly trained cadets. These cadets are juvenile volunteers ranging from the ages of 14 to 17, and they go through a 12-day, basically, academy of learning how to be certified as search and rescue. They are skilled in both rural and urban rescue, and they don't just search for missing hunters or hikers or things like that, but they help save lives and possibly bring some closure to some families. They were able to respond very quickly for time-sensitive cases. They help process some crime scenes by doing grid searches for different items, and they also help and support other search and rescue teams across the state. This team has oversight by full-time Sheriff's Office SAR staff. And typically because of their training and fast response, they're typically the first choice for most agencies to call upon when they have someone that's missing or they need an area to be searched. This news article is a perfect example of how our search and rescue can help save lives. This missing and endangered person had suffered from severe mental issues and had also missed some vital medication. Initially, when we received the report, the person had been gone over 2 hours. Our search and rescue advisor first responded and was able to activate the Project Life-Saving equipment, and were able to locate the individual, and I'll go into that a little bit more where they found him at. So Project Lifesaver and Help Me Home are two programs that the Sheriff's Office run. Project Lifesaver is a tracking program, which is a paid program. If someone has a loved member who suffers from some sort of serious mental health condition and it's a tracking device, basically. So you pay for the tracking device, and it's a quarterly fee that you pay through the Sheriff's Office. And if that person becomes lost, we have equipment that will help us locate them fairly quickly. The Help Me Home is a voluntary program where it's basically a secure database that we get information and a photo of a loved one. If you have someone that typically wanders away from home from time to time, if a deputy or police officer comes across them, they are able to access this database and identify the person and then contact whoever they need to contact or bring them back home safely. Getting back to the person that was the missing endangered person, he was located in an urban neighborhood green space area that had a ravine area as well. So he was located about 30 feet down a ravine with some serious head injuries when we located him. And as you can see from the picture, our search and rescue team helped bring him out of that ravine and get him back to safety fairly quickly, saving his life. Our ROVT team, as technology has progressed, so has the Sheriff's Office, trying to keep up with equipment. We now have drones and robotic technology that are a lot more advanced. Our ROV team can diagram crash scenes. They help with our SWAT team going into where it might be an armed, barricaded subject. Versus sending a deputy or police officer or a canine in there, we'd send a drone in first and try and deal with the situation. They also help support search and rescue efforts. Our RV team members carry the drones in their vehicles, so they're much quicker to respond, depending on the location. Right now, a team composes of 11 deputies, 3 Beaverton officers, 1 Hillsborough officer, and we're still working with other county agencies who want to participate in the program as well. All of our pilots must have an FAA license, and they require training every 2 years, and then monthly training as well, a minimum of 10 hours a month for the training. And the training covers multiple drone platforms and different scenarios and missions that they have to practice in. The drones are equipped for both indoor and outdoor. We know it rains a lot in Oregon, but our drones are capable of flying in inclement weather as well. And Oregon law kind of restricts us in certain ways we can use the drones. So I know there's some concerns about privacy issues, but we have strict guidelines that we have to follow. be able to play? We have a quick video here that can show you some of the things that our drones can do. So in this one here, we are looking for 2 suspects that are taken off on foot. The drone is able to follow those folks and guide our deputies or officers into where those locations are at much safer, so they don't be walking into some sort of ambush or anything like that. Also with the thermal imaging, whether it's daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. As covered area with trees, we can still locate them. This is another incident where we have 2 people running from us, and the drone is able to follow as they maneuver through where they can fit. The vehicle can't, but we are able to guide officers and deputies where they're running to.
He got a bike.
Yep, he jumped on a bike.
And this is that partnership with Tualatin PD as well, in action.
And as you can see, we have officers waiting right where they're running
No.
to. And this is a footage of a TNT mission where there was supposedly a possible suspect inside. We were able to fly the drone through that little space there and search the area before we send anyone in for safety.
Looking forward. I don't know if you've heard this before. Stop me. We have the Public Safety Local Option Levy coming in November. Has anyone heard anything about that? No? Okay, let me tell you about it. No, I'm not going to do that. I think we know how much that funds us, and that it's the DA's Office, Community Corrections, Juvenile and Family Justice Center. I do want to make sure that everyone knows that we have a sort of running document right now where we are working on responses to all of your questions from the last time we were here. No, there's no apologies. This is the beautiful piece of the community engagement that's so important. No one of us can think of everything. And if we can't respond to your questions and your concerns, then we are not doing our best work. And it is a partnership. And that's really the main reason that we come out here to share different things with updates as it relates to the sheriff's office, because it is a partnership. And so just please know that that will be in your inboxes soon. We're just finalizing a little bit of the data to make sure that it's accurate. Other than that, what questions can we answer for you?
Questions?
Comments?
Council Hillier.
The whole world.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's so nice to see you again. So I think I didn't, and thank you for all your work and your continued call out of the amazing partnerships, and especially Tualatin. But could you go back to the increasing gun violence and the part of the covert program? Did you say that the increase is just in Washington County, or don't you feel like that's a national sort of thing that we've seen in the last maybe 7 months?
Well, I can't really speak to nationally, but I can speak to in our metro area, there's been a significant increase. We haven't, I would say, maybe we didn't know about it as much in Washington County, but now that we've developed this team that is heavily led by intelligence, they are just really focusing on the problems in a way that we did not have the resources to previously. I think a lot of what we were seeing in especially gun violence was just responding and reacting to crimes that happened, but then it would take so long to be able to get information about the different guns and whether or not they were attached to any other crimes, because there were, I want to say, 2 of those NIBIN terminals throughout the state. And so with that limited access, it would take a long time to get in front of them. With the grants and with the special team that we've designed, now we have immediate access to that, and our detectives are able to really prioritize just that in our community. And what they're finding is that those guns that they're seizing are connected to a lot of different people and a lot of different crimes throughout the Portland metro area especially. Am I missing anything?
No, I think you covered it.
Yeah, thank you for that forward
You
thought.
bet.
And the only other thing I wonder about is I love getting to hear the continued use of the cadet program. And I'm wondering if any are from Tualatin and how we could maybe, what the education looks like, and maybe I could go on the website and find that, or I just wonder if there's engagement from our community in that program. Sorry,
No,
you can
that's
get
great.
back to me, it's okay.
That's what I'm going to do, because I don't know off the top of my
That's
head
okay.
if we
I was just
have anyone from
curious.
Tualatin, but I will say, I mean, we have so many cadets, so I just have to
Awesome.
believe it, but also, I'd be happy to send you the information,
love
because
that.
it's really incredible, especially, like, let's be clear, I have a 14-year-old daughter who has zero interest in it, but her friends in high school can't wait.
Yes.
No, not you? No? Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to have more
Excellent.
knowledge. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Other questions or comments? Council President Pratt.
This is kind of a general question, but you famously let everybody know that Washington County will not let you get away with crime.
I mentioned it.
Yes. So, and then we've heard over and over about the limited jail space. So, do you use those tracking devices? How do you, what do you do when you arrest somebody when, we have such limited jail space to make sure they get the message?
Well, one of the things that we're doing is we are actually bringing people into custody and at the very least getting them booked and fingerprinted and out on a release agreement that restricts their ability to go back to the locations they were in. Let's say it's theft specifically. One of the things the DA and I have been talking about is organized retail theft and things like that. So we are taking those folks into jail and getting them into custody, at least initially, and arresting them on other warrants that sometimes keep them in jail. And then we are going to be using that expanded pretrial release program to at least get people out on electronic monitoring and make sure that they're not having that victim contact. But there are a lot of crimes, anything really like person felonies or anything like that, domestic violence, they all go to jail. So what we're doing is we're just making sure that we are utilizing the space that we have for the people that need to be in custody. And for those who can be out of custody while they await adjudication, we're either out on electronic monitoring or just a release agreement of some sort. Yeah.
Council Brooks.
Thank you very much. The programs look very interesting and amazing, actually. I am curious about the process around jail, because I think that some people stay at Washington County Jail and some people go to prison. And can you talk to us a little bit more about that kind of process and the average length of stay and kind of mandatory sentencing, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, so Washington County Jail is anyone who is pre-sentenced, pre-trial, and people who are sentenced for 12 months and less. 12 months plus 1 day, they go off to prison. However, we do have people that have been in custody for 4 to 5 years who were sentenced to less than a year on multiple charges, and if they are run consecutively, you see where I'm going here. If a judge runs them consecutively, let's pretend someone gets 12 months on 5 charges that are run consecutively, they never do meet that threshold of 12 months plus 1 day to go to prison, which is statutorily required, so they will spend 5 years minus their roughly 10% off for good time at the Washington County Jail. That is not the goal. The goal is to 12 months plus a day, get people into prison where they actually have a better ability to provide more wraparound care and resources to help them reintegrate effectively. But it does happen. And there's a lot of other things that impact people's average length of stay. For instance, if someone is going through the state facility for mental health to determine whether or not they're able to aid and assist in their defense, they could be down there on an aid and assist for several months prior to determining whether or not they're able to assist in their own defense. And so that will pause their entire adjudication pretrial process until that determination is made. If they are not found able to aid and assist, they might stay at the state hospital to get treatment until they are able to. Then they'll come back and start the whole process over. Or if they're found able after several months, they will come back and start over and pick up where they left off. And so there are several factors that can impact someone's average length of stay, and determine whether or not they're actually in custody, sometimes for very extended periods of time before they ever get to their trial. And then post-adjudication with sentencing, depending on what the judge's sentence, they could also be in custody with us in Washington County for a very long time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I
Okay.
appreciate that very much because I think it's confusing and a lot of
Sure.
people don't have a lot of exposure. And I really didn't
Understood.
until I started working at community corrections and and then the other, I had two kind of weird questions.
Okay.
One was, I've had community members from different realms come to me with concerns about we have a lot of massage parlors and concerns about like sex trafficking and that kind of thing. And I'm just curious, is that something that your department works on? Is there a process around that or?
If there are complaints of that in the urban unincorporated areas, rural areas, that's absolutely something that our detectives look into. I know that there was a complaint made, for instance, next to my hairstylist spot in Tigard, and they contacted the Tigard police for that, and their detectives were looking into that one. So it's absolutely something that our local jurisdictions are working on and sharing information on and intelligence, absolutely.
Okay. And then the other question is, and I know you might not be able to speak to this, but maybe why you can't speak to it, but some people have talked to me about the case about the Tualatin River with the, and because we had just done a kayaking tour and there was some fear and curiosity and concern that there was a lot of vagueness around reporting, and just wondering if you could illuminate a little bit about that case.
Unfortunately, there's probably not a lot that I can say yet. You're correct, other than the fact that we had search and rescue responding to help our staff with doing grid searches of the entire banks and sets of areas where we could hopefully look for more body parts that were discovered. And we've had a significant presence with our Marine Patrol to help ensure that people can feel like they can use the waterways safely and that they don't have to worry.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for that.
You bet.
Yeah, that came up even with the young ones, so
Sure.
appreciate it.
Understood.
Other questions or comments? Councilor Reyes?
No questions, just comments. Thank you very much for this report, and I look forward to reading it more and more. But, and for keeping our community safe along with our police officers here, so thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if it's widely known, but the sheriff's office is also statutorily required to have a Marine Patrol, which is just one of those things that makes us unique.
Any other questions or comments? Okay.
That's fascinating to me. Is there anything else we should know that's unique about the sheriff's department that makes?
So much that it's an office, not a department, because Office of the Sheriff, just saying. If I was appointed, it would be a department.
Oh,
And because it's elected, it's an office. Also, statutorily required functions. I have to have a jail. I have to have search and rescue. I have to have Marine Patrol. I have to have concealed handgun licensing, and I have to have civil. What I don't have to have, and by I just mean the sheriff generally, not me, but what the sheriff does not have to have is a patrol division, believe it or not. But we do have the third largest police agency in the state, which is also a gift. But it's those other things that make the sheriff's office really unique, because they're required by statute for a sheriff to provide for the community. And a jail division, all of that. So a lot of offices, a lot of sheriff's offices in the state don't have like a policing function, but they definitely have a jail. They have to have Marine Patrol. They have to have those things.
and then you call the rest of the group the divisions?
So we have divisions. At our sheriff's office, we have our investigations division, so those will be our detectives. Patrol division, so you see out on the road. And then our jail division, we have a services division, which includes property and evidence, records,
Civil,
civil.
CHL.
Thank you, and CHL. And then our professional standards division, which is our internal affairs, training, policy and accreditation. I'm probably missing something there.
That's okay. Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
like to have the terminology right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming
Mayor?
tonight. Enjoyed the presentation, and good luck on the levy. I know you'll be working hard on it.
What? Thanks, y'all. Appreciate
All right.
you.
All right, that brings us to general business. Item number 1, consideration of resolution number 5907-25, authorizing the city manager to sign an intergovernmental agreement with the Tiger Tualatin School District for the School Resource Officer Program, also known as SRO. And we have Chief and Officer Miller. Welcome.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, Chief Pickering, and seated to my right is School Resource Officer Brian Miller. So just, real briefly, year after year, we sign an intergovernmental agreement with the school district to provide police officers in the schools. We do provide 2. We have one at the high school and one at the middle school is where they're assigned, and then they collectively cover the elementary schools in the district as well as Horizon High School and Horizon Middle School and Elementary School. And so with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Officer Miller, who's going to give you some statistical data and some stuff that they dealt with from last year's school year, and then we'll circle back to the resolution. So,
Thanks for having me. So does this go here? I did not put this PowerPoint together. We have lovely staff in the police department that are very gifted at building these PowerPoints. No, little touch happy. Okay, as Tualatin SROs, we are dedicated to making a difference in the lives of every student by ensuring each child feels safe in the classroom environment, promoting an open door policy for all of the students, interacting with students in a positive way every day, and supporting the staff and community. That's me, and I go into government classes every year at the high school and focus classes and talk about search and seizure and kind of criminal law with the focus classes. So let's dive into some of our goals for the 2024-2025 school year. So we're asked to do a lot of things. These are just some of the examples as far as stuff that we are asked to do. So fall events, attend all the home football games. We go to some away games based upon just how the season's going. We're asked to be a back-to-school night for, help get to greet families and students coming back to school and new students and families and just kind of introduce ourselves so they know who we are. We assist, the band with the homecoming parade and the dance. I'm on coaching staff, help out with football, and we try to get engaged with staff meetings, and this week is basically just a lot of professional development, and so they try to get us involved with that, so just to make us be a part of the staff. Our winter events, we attend basketball games. This year I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. with LEAP. We help out with Pioneer Days with Tualatin Elementary. We do Shop with a Cop. We're doing that a little bit different this year. Different school fairs and events that we attend, and we do Read with a Cop at the elementary level. So, spring event, we always have check-ins with the school district regarding different stuff that we're involved in the school, just to make sure that we're still being involved. We're involved with Unity Week and obviously graduation ceremony, prom, and I also help out with girls golf. To maintain this positive and safe environment for the student means addressing some disciplinary issues. So let's look at kind of see that picture next to Daniel, Officer Hernandez there. That's one of our officer's son at Horizon Elementary School, Braxton Montrose. So the 2024 school year from September to June, the total offense reports that we took between Danielle and I were 47. We had 10 arrest reports, 0 missing person reports. We had 33 supplemental reports, and those are basically just either an assist to another officer investigating something that was related to the school or cases that we were assigned and did supplemental reports on. And then juvenile referrals, those are kind of cases where maybe there's a request for a referral to be made to the juvenile center, not necessarily. There's just a lot of circumstances related to it. Probably doesn't need to go to the juveniles, but we do make a referral based upon the request of a family or a student or potentially the district. So, and none of our referrals or really offense incidents last year were self-initiated by Daniel and I. I would say 99% of everything that we do in the school is at the request of either an outside agency, parents, district, or students themselves reporting incidents. So here's a breakdown of just the types of reports: alcohol offenses, assault, harassment reports, assist person, assist other agencies. We had 13 DHS referrals, and the DHS referrals are kind of split up between in our detective division. Anything during the school year that's tied to a school, they assign DHS referrals to Daniel and I. Drug crimes, juvenile involvement, school threats, sex crimes, vandalism, property crimes, and welfare check. Drug crimes, how we do drugs across Tigard-Tualatin School District. Typically, if it's just a possession of an illegal offense that we can enforce, every kid is provided a freebie. They're provided education. They meet with the school social worker. Obviously, there's some school consequence, but there's no enforcement on our behalf. So here's a little bit more in depth at the offenses that reports that we handled. We had 2 assault threes, and that's basically more than one individual attacking another person intentionally. Those were at the high school. 4 assault 4s, 2 agency assist. We had a custody issue, a couple courtesy reports, 2 criminal mischiefs, 13 DHS referrals, 4 harassments, and that's offensive physical contact or intentional, unwanted harassment like telephonically. Juvenile involvement, and those are kind of those cases where we document the incident. It doesn't necessarily rise to a criminal level, but we at least want to document it and have it on record. Lost child, lost property, 1 MIP alcohol, 2 possession of marijuana, 2 sex abuses, and 3 suspicious circumstances, 2 school threats, and 1 welfare check. This is just this slide didn't turn out very good. But this is just kind of breaks down, there's another slide here that breaks it more down with the reports with the victim and suspect, race and sex, but this just kind of breaks down what, like up at the top, the assault 3, suspect was female, and again, suspect race was white, but it just kind of breaks down each offense that we dealt with. Any questions on that slide? Tough to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think the the next one on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
So here's a just breakdown of the victims and suspects by race. 19 white, 3 black, 10 Hispanic, Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, 1, 0 Asian, and unknown of the victims. 20 white of the suspects, 1 black, 14 Hispanic, Pacific Islander, 4 Asian, 0, 5 unknowns. Here's by breakdown of sex. Dive into the juvenile arrests. Here's just breakdown of the by sex and race. And those harassments are all offensive physical contact. Didn't rise to like any physical injury or anything. Here's a 5-year trend. I like this slide of juvenile arrests by race. Just, 2021. 2022, we really saw a big spike. That was a bad year at the high school, but that was post-COVID, and I think a lot of kids didn't know how to communicate. So, but we're doing a lot, working with families, school administration, counselors to really, decrease the amount of referrals we do, and that's one good thing about, being at the school all the time, really getting to know families, being engaged in different activities. The families, they start trusting you and knowing that you're going to take care of, follow through with restorative plans, and so we get kind of creative to keep kids out of the criminal justice system. Here's a 5-year trend of the juvenile arrest by sex. Still, you can see a significant decrease last year. We still got a little bit of 25 in us. Our students are thriving in the environment we have built together. That is why only 12 out of thousands of our student contacts resulted in a referral, juvenile referral or arrest. So Daniel and I both, we try to keep an open door policy. Kids coming in all day long, when we're available. So, as Tualatin School Resource Officers, we are committed to building a bright future for every student. That's it. Any questions?
Questions for Chief or Officer Miller? Council Brooks?
Hi, thank
Hi.
you very much for the presentation
Yeah.
and all of your work with our students. I don't know if I didn't remember or if it's different, but have we always served Horizon too?
Yeah, we've served Horizon for many years, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't
just-
know why.
They're in the city.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm just,
so-
but I don't remember them in the report, so I just was,
It's pretty rare that we have any interaction or involvement with them. But yeah, we do cover any crimes or any issues that do come up. A lot of theirs are just minor disciplinary issues, and they usually don't need any assistance from the police. But you might remember, it's probably been about 10 years ago, they had a pretty vocal school threat that we handled and dealt with, pretty thoroughly, so.
And we participate and help them out in their lockdown drills. So,
all right, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Councilor Reyes.
Thank you for the presentation. Just curious of activities that you do with the youth, so to keep them from taking aggression or doing all these other things that they do on others, on their peers. I'm just curious.
it takes a team, obviously, and there's connections that kids have within the school, and if we're able to get kids connected in a positive manner, then that's kind of how we try to get them involved in different activities. Sometimes, we do have to put things in place, no contact agreements if kids aren't buying off on it. But I provide a lot of law-related education as far as what the potential consequences could be, and communicate with families as well. But we just try to get buy-off on the kids to kind of focus on maintaining the safe behavior while they're within Tigard Tualatin School District, one of their pillars.
I think it's important to really showcase the relationship that Officer Miller and Officer Hernandez build with the kids. And so, I spent time in the schools as an SRO, and the biggest component of the SRO program is the consistency of the same person being in the building on a daily basis. And so they get to know Officer Miller, they get to know Officer Hernandez, they get to know who they are as people. Brian has a large bowl of candy that sits on his desk. And every time I've been up to his office to go in and check on him or have a meeting, kids come in constantly and grab candy. And that candy turns into conversation, and that conversation then turns into a level of trust. And, depending on the certain student, it might be a small level of trust, but that level of trust then grows. And their constant communication with those kids and just being a constant in the school itself. As Brian said, he coaches freshman football, he coaches girls golf in the spring. He's interacting with the kids outside of the school function itself. And if you look at the high school specifically, it's like a small city within the city. They have their own mayor, being Principal DeLurba, and their own council and the administration of the staff. But the integration of the SROs into the school and the partnership they have with the Washington County Juvenile Department, where they're dealing with a lot of these issues, smaller issues, things that without an officer in the school or a normal patrol officer who may show up and who may not have the relationship that an SRO does, those incidents are being dealt with at a more restorative type justice level, where they're talking about programs. They're getting kids into different classes. They're moving kids around. They're different their placement. They're not necessarily just taking enforcement action. They're actually dealing with the kid. And Officer Hernandez and Officer Miller are getting to know, as Brian says, they're getting to know the families and the family dynamics and the family units and what may be happening outside of the walls of the schools. And with the constant communication with the schools, the families, and the students involved, we're finding very positive resolutions in a lot of those situations. It's interesting to find in the schools, especially today, that if something starts to happen in the school, rumors start to float around of certain things, something gets written on the wall of a bathroom, typically the first people that know about that incident in the school, other than the couple of kids who may start it, is typically our SROs. And that's because the level of trust they've established with kids that are not in trouble to know that's the trusted adult that I go to.
Yeah.
That a lot of times they'll go to the officers before they will go to the administration. And so that again it just highlights the partnership and the work that these guys do, just to be human beings in the schools who just happen to be in uniform.
Yeah, no, I truly admire the work dealing with teenagers. I'm sure I was a teenager once in LA, so just, so I know how hard it is. Thank you for that, and thank you for keeping them active and positive, and have that trust so they can come to you and tell you things that it's really bothering them, or someone bothering them, or things that that they can prevent them from being aggressive or hurting someone or hurting themselves even.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Council President Pratt.
So, do you like coaching freshman football or girls golf better? No, I'm just kidding. It's girls golf.
It's, well, I enjoy, I like being with the kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's really,
no, I was kind of picking on you, sorry. But,
when the weather turns, that's when I'm the least happy.
to be out there, yeah, I can imagine. I was kind of shocked that the sex of the suspects, that there were, I know the females are half, but I was expecting to be like 10%. So I was really kind of shocked. And is that typical what other schools are seeing?
I always compare myself with Tigard. Tualatin's always had different dynamics as far as, I think we've just had more aggressive kids.
Okay,
So,
yeah, okay. And then, do you and Officer Hernandez, when you're on the clock, how much is your time all at the school, or do you spend time doing other things? It's all at the school?
So their primary look, they both have offices at the schools. So
Okay.
they do have desks at the police department, but their primary duty location, if you will, is at the schools.
So you're pretty much at the high school, and then you just kind of go to Horizon, or
So-
Officer Hernandez goes to the grade
yeah,
schools?
if we're requested at, the different elementary schools, we'll go and, we've tried over the years, last couple of years, since Daniel's come on, to try to make an appearance, a consistent appearance at the elementary level. But it's tough sometimes.
Yeah. I just want to share a story real quick, that there was an event at Las Casitas during the holidays, and I was with Officer Hernandez, and I was it was amazing because those kids knew who he was, and they came up and talked to him, and it was a friendly, really great interaction.
Yeah.
So thanks for the
He does a
work.
great job.
So Brian has candy and Daniel has stickers.
I
And so
see.
middle school kids love stickers. And it actually became an issue when we were running out of stickers, and we're like, where have all of our stickers going? Because we order them by the thousands. And to find out, we had to order Daniel his own box because he hands them out almost every day. But that sticker is the candy that Brian uses, and it is the connection to the kids.
The high school kids only get a sticker on their birthday.
Council Hilliard.
Just quickly, I think that you undersold the list of things that you officers participate in building community. And I think you're also a presence at Mitch, for sure. And I just want to say to the chief, and thank you for hiring such people of character. And thank you for making sure they're in the roles to be these trusted adults for the children in our communities and for the families. I've seen firsthand the difference that Officer Miller and Officer Hernandez have made, and I think our community is a way better place because of the work they do and the time and energy and care they put into everything that they do. Every word they say, I mean, I've seen Officer Miller be a girl dad all of a sudden in the middle of an unusual, okay, that was not what I expected situation, I'm pretty sure. And they are people of great character, and I'm proud to get to say I know them and get to work with them in my day job. And I'm also proud to get to sit here as a counselor and be part of this presentation. And I know how hard you work, so thank you.
The city of Tualatin has embraced the school resource officer program since 1988. So they became Tualatin became a police department in 1987 when we incorporated from the sheriff's office. And in 1988, the Tualatin Police Department put Officer Randy Kapus at Tualatin Middle School, Tualatin Junior High back then. And I can honestly say that he is one of the people who guided me towards law enforcement. As a seventh grade student at Tualatin Junior High and hanging out with Officer Randy and just the interaction that he had. And so those are the interactions that are super important for our kids to have. So, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none.
So I will just call to your attention on the IGA itself. So over the past several years, our IGA has been a partnership with the school district where the school district pays for 50% of the top paid school resource officer that we have. In conversations with the school district and with the superintendent, the school district has agreed that the partnership that we have is one of value. And so they have agreed over this school year to increase their contribution to 75% of the top paid officer and to escalate that in the coming years to 100% of the top paid officer. So we're working to get to where they are truly valuing who we're putting in the schools and the relationship and the partnership that we do have. So.
Thanks, Chief.
Do we just
Roll
motion?
call vote.
Okay. I move that we adopt resolution number 5907-25.
Second?
I have a motion in 2 seconds to adopt resolution number 5907-25. Any discussions on those motions? I'll start with Counselor Sacco.
Aye.
Counselor Hillier.
Aye.
Counselor Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Brooks.
Aye.
Council President Pratt.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So item number 2 is consideration of recommendations from the Council Committee on Advisory Appointments. Who's leading the discussion tonight?
Thank you very much, Mayor. So Councilor Pratt and Councilor Sacco and I met on August 5th, which was the National Night Out thing. And we met and we took time to interview several people, like always, many great qualified volunteers. And these are volunteers, by the way. They're not getting paid or anything. So having that high quality of interested candidates, it's always a good thing. It's always a proud moment for me because of our community, and there are a lot of people that I never get to see them anywhere other than that meeting, and then of course we build relationship from there. But I'm always surprised about people that just decide, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know we have this kind of talent in our community. So thank you very much, and we are now going to name the individuals that were assigned at different committees to advise us and to be our eyes, our ears out in the community. And so I'm going to pass this on to the other counselors.
So for the Architectural Review Board, we'd like to reappoint Skip Stanaway. And for the Library Advisory Committee, we'd like to appoint Emily Luanzon. And then Counselor Sacco's got a couple.
And then for the Planning Commission, we'd like to appoint Justin Lindley and Alan Pericini. And with that, I move to recommend these appointments to the mentioned committees.
So I have a motion and a second to approve the recommendations of the Appointments Committee. Any discussions on those motions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It's unanimous. All right. So that brings us to items removed from consent. We had 2 items removed from consent. Item number 2, consideration of approval of a new liquor license application for RECS or Rex. Councilor Hill, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just, I recognize that we appreciate business in our community, and I recognize that this liquor license is going to be approved, but I will state again that I really believe that it hurts my heart, and it hurts a lot of parts of how I think we should be protecting our community to have a liquor license at a place where people go to recreate.
You want to go for both of them at once?
And I also believe that in that vein, that as we're recreating to make candles at a professional location, I really just question the norms that our community is placing on businesses to provide liquor for people to go recreate making candles. I really believe that that is something that we should not be pushing on businesses in order to be successful. And I hope that I can find a way to help change the norms in our community in some possible way that support us businesses being thriving in our community without liquor for these types of activities.
Thank you.
I move that we adopt the 2 items from the consent agenda, approval of liquor licenses for RECS and for Glow Gifts and Candles Studio.
You need to do them separately, I'm sorry, because they're resolutions.
I move that we adopt consideration of approval of a new liquor license for RECS.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for the approval of a new liquor license application for RECS. Discussions on those motions. Councilor Sacco?
Aye.
Councilor Hillier?
No.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Brooks?
Aye.
Council President Pratt?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It's unanimous.
Except
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. That's 5 to 1. Sorry.
I wore my stripes.
Yeah, 5 to 1. Correction.
It's a habit.
I move that we approve a new liquor license application for, that was sent in by Glow Gifts and Candles Studio.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the new liquor license application for Glow Gifts and Candles Studio. Any discussions on those motions? Councilor Hillier?
No.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Sacco?
Yes.
Councilor Brooks?
Aye.
Council President Pratt?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It's 5 to 1 in favor of granting the license. All right. So that brings us to council communications. Any communications? Councilor Brooks?
Yeah, over the week, I had someone reach out to me about the parking conversation that we had for homeless, and that we had made a decision to not do it. And I didn't feel like we had the full discussion, so I was just curious if there was interest on the council for having a conversation, not just about that, but about utilizing city funds to support solutions for people struggling with housing issues, and finish sort of discussing some of the topics that we had talked about in the safe parking program conversation. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead, Council President Pratt.
I'm just going to chime in. Well, during that, when that was presented to us, there was also talk about that eviction prevention was more effective. So I think, and we already have the budget for this year, but I think that'd be interesting for next year, maybe to look at the different things and look if there's a room in the budget, a small amount at least, to help with that. Because, I mean, we were all pretty touched when people were talking to us about the situation in our community.
I got an update today from Megan. Do you want to come? Sure. She has a little bit of information about that.
Hi, everybody. My understanding is that Just Compassion will be submitting an application through our outside agency grant program, potentially for eviction prevention assistance or rent relief. So we'll see if it comes in, but that could be one avenue.
Councilor Brooks.
So I think that's another thing to talk about, but I'm just curious about the conversation in general and having a transparent conversation around this issue, kind of like what they're doing currently with other cities and the costs that they're, the other cities are expending, what we think if we want to or if we don't, and what kind of program that we'd want to look at if we did. Just instead of waiting for somebody to come to us to make a decision based on the council's leadership.
Thoughts or comments? Go
I'm
ahead,
not sure.
Councilor.
I would have to like review a few more, do a little bit more research, and then think about it, process it, and then come back. But yeah, I'm not ready to speak about it today. At least I heard about it when I was driving here last council meeting, but I didn't dig into it that much. And as far as research, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not ready to talk about it. I guess that's my.
Okay. Councilor Sacco.
Yeah, I agree with Counselor Brooks. We had the conversation, but, there was no decision made, but I would like for it to come before council, and for us to have a more robust conversation about if that's something we want to move forward with or not.
So I was just reading our minutes from the last meeting. Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to have more information. I understand that it was a staff report. It was a really good one and worth having a conversation for. And I think that it would be really good to do after we look at the grant cycle, potentially. Knowing that we would relook at it, but understanding too what maybe resources could potentially be assigned. So it's just a thought.
All right. So I count 1, 2, 3. My position right now is the budget's done for this year, so I wouldn't want to take time on our schedule until we get closer to the next budget year, especially considering, a grant application and to the discussion of is the money better wisely spent on eviction prevention or 3 empty parking spots, 3 spots that potentially could be empty all year long versus those dollars going towards eviction prevention.
Just to be clear, that is part of the proposal. It would be more like a work item to kind of flush out some of the things that we had talked about at that conversation. It was just weird to me because I thought it was informational, an informational point on our agenda. And then when I had communication about where you got, that we heard that you made this decision, I was surprised because I didn't feel that we had made a decision because we were just deliberating. So I want to be really clear to especially the county leadership that came and took the time to give us this presentation, that it's really had me thinking about ways that we could be participatory in an effective way, in a way that we believe that would help our community and set us up for a good work session whenever the council, at the council's, what do you call it? Pleasure.
Okay. All right. Other communications. Cindy? Yeah.
Oh, I move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. All right, that's it.
Are you our official adjourner?
Yeah. Have a very good evening, folks. Thank you for watching tonight or attending.